get hurt by all the girls. They try his world for just a season.
Hi friends, welcome back to Librophiliac Knits. I'm already looking off stage. What am I looking for? I'm your host, Kat, and this is my little corner of the internet where I come to chit-chat with you about the things that I am up to. What are they, you ask? Well, lately I've been on a bit of a finishing kick. Looky what we have here. Hang on. Stand up. I will input a picture because there's not a good way. Well, I'll show you some good details here. We've got an I-cord seam. I had buttons that were all the same but not the same color, so we've got a fun rainbow of buttons. This was an unusual horizontal line of stitches that I've never really done before. What is it that I'm wearing, you ask? Why, let me tell you, it's the Navigo romper by Patricia Lima, if I remember correctly, in 2023. Yeah, you heard that right. In 2023, I started knitting this as part of the test knit for the pattern. And I failed to complete said test knit. I was not fast enough and not actually following the brief. And what happened was that when it got to the point where she was giving us the pattern in pieces through a Google Doc, and I think I missed the cutoff for the next step. And so I had gotten to just below the bust and this interesting line of stitches and just spun out. No, what's the word I want? Petered out, stalled out. There we go. I stalled out. I don't know if I got intimidated or I just wasn't feeling what was happening or I wasn't enjoying it, but for whatever reason, I just stopped. And then she withdrew my access to said Google document. And when I finally decided that I was going to finish this garment, I had to go and buy the pattern, which, I don't know, kind of seemed fair. I didn't hold up my end of the deal, did I? But I don't know. In speaking to other people who are pattern designers, I've heard that sounds a little sketchy. But what do I know? I've only been a test knitter twice. And on both occasions, I don't know if I've really held up my end of the deal as well as I was supposed to, which is why I've sort of backed off attempting to be a test knitter. I don't know that I'm really cut out for that, despite the fact that I do love a good deadline. I think part of it is to do with the fact that I am vying for the most frequently used size. Like if I were a larger size or interested in knitting larger sizes, then I would have probably more options available. But I'm a little slow on the email response, and I usually wear mediums and larges and extra larges, and that spread of sizing is just the thing that's going to disappear off of any test knit list the fastest. And I understand that. That's okay. My first test knit was a pair of socks. And I decided that I would make them in the largest size available because that was the only spot left on the test knit. And then no one I knew had feet big enough to wear those socks. I ended up gifting them to a man I work with who I really enjoy. He is, I don't remember what the official title is. It's facilities department or something for the hospital. But, he's a very tall man with large feet. I was like, can I give you these? Because I can't find anyone else they make sense for. And he was like, yeah. And I ran into him years later. I mean, I do see him still occasionally, which is always a delight. His name is Gary, and I really enjoy talking to him. I even ran into him in a Walmart once. That was also great. But anyway, Gary let me know that he still wears my crazy socks that I made him. They're like too wild for him to wear out, but he wears them as like slippers. So whatever, I'll take it. My gift giving has been successful. Back to the original story. My Navigo romper is knit with Lion brand Nuboo or Truboo. There's so many of them. This is the one where it's just bamboo, rayon made from bamboo. There are 3 different varieties of this yarn. There's Nuboo and Truboo and Coboo. I have been eyeing 4 skeins of Coboo that I have. It's a cotton bamboo blend. And I'll let you know what I'm thinking about casting on with that in a little while. But anyway, this yarn is very, very soft. It's also very drapey, which is great. I don't know if you kind of saw. It's got a good drape to it. I will insert a little finished object. And what else was I going to tell you? It's very splitty. It's very splitty. You can find it at any of the remaining big box stores that you are willing to shop at. I bought this at Joann's, who, is no longer with us. Rest in peace. I decided our Joann's in Minnesota were closing on May 31st. And I decided to go have a look around, and it looked like zombie apocalypse movie set in there. Everything was empty. They were down to a couple of items of like spring decor, like leftover stuff from Easter. 5 boxes of, the reason I'm thinking of 5 is there were some boxes of zippers. The only box that I actually bothered to look in were 5-inch zippers. The next box over were full length double pull tab zippers that you would use for a parka. And I did see a girl walking around with a handful of crochet hooks. And when I went and looked at them, I realized that I did not need any of them. And then I left and I didn't purchase anything. Aren't you proud of me? I didn't see anything that was worth getting in the very long line. And then that particular Joann's is next door to like a Office Max. So I went next door to look for a particular brand of pen, and they didn't have that either. And then I left and I did not purchase anything. I felt pretty good about it. So this is my big finished object. I just finished finally sewing on the buttons today. I also found that I had thread from my purchase binge from the Textile Center garage sale last year that like perfectly matched this yarn. I ended up using 517 grams worth of yarn. So like 5 1/4 or so balls of yarn. I did make the torso longer than the pattern originally called for because I am a long torsoed woman. And I had to put it on the old barber cord. Well, my version of the barber cord. I did not buy official barber cord. I found some of that PVC string stuff for like $2 on the internet somewhere and got it that way. Anyway, I tried on this garment when it was still completely lacking a top and realized that I wanted it to be extended another inch or 2 after where I had put it on because I did not want it to give me a wedgie or be so short in the shorts that, when I was moving around, my underwear would show. So I am very pleased with the length that it has ended up. It's very comfortable. I do actually I thought that the buttons would be sort of arbitrary. I didn't think this one would stay closed. I thought that one might be the one that stays open, but no, makes sense to leave it shut. They all go well together, but they all have to open in order for me to get my booty through this particular garment. But I am overall very pleased with my Navigo romper. As usual, my only issue with it is it doesn't have pockets. Welcome to feminine apparel. When she released this pattern, she released a number of other patterns that were all kind of riffs on the same thing. So, same thing. I believe there's a mini dress. There is a pair of shorts. There's the romper. There may be a shirt or a tank top sort of situation. It's been a while since I've thought about it, but I know that there were other patterns that sort of were like all a set with this. They're really cute. I have no plans to make any of the other ones. Yeah. Navigo was one of the items on my bingo card, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could have sworn there was something else on here that I had checked off or thought needed to be checked off. I should make a list so I can remember what things are, because it just says tank or tea, or like finish something from whip list. Well, am I saying finish something from whip list when I think about my West Knits mystery knit along that I decided to finish as a cowl? That was a shawl. I was like, oh, should I put shawl for that? Well, no. My giraffe hat for my niece got lost somewhere. I'm hoping that the child wore it to school and it will come home when his locker gets cleared out, because I want to send it to my niece. Super unfair. Not that I don't have the yarn to make another one, and I could probably do a better job the second time around, as I usually do. But yeah. So what am I here to tell you about? Well, this is my thing that I'm wearing today, and I think my only finished object since the last we spoke. I made that tank top, and then I felt so good. That went so fast. And then I was just gonna cast on another one, and then I don't know what happened. I hesitated, and none of that. No tank tops have been cast on. I have been thinking really hard about the Summer League Cutoff by Two of Wands, which is a free pattern for a t-shirt. It's really cute. I think that Coboo I was talking about, which I have in sort of an olive green color, would work great as a potential summery top. I still want to make the moonset tee. I would like to make another Breeze Racer bag tank. Alicia Plummer released a free. I'm making a list. This could be one of those episodes where let me talk to you about all the summer knits I'm interested in making because I didn't do anything. I'm feeling really good about finishing this. I've still just been basking in the good dopamine from completing this lingering whip that has been sitting on my needles for 2 years. I started it in May of 2023. So 2 years, 1 month. Yeah. What else? I've been doing more wool prep. Here, I will. There are a number of them, but piles of floof. I have not decided to start spinning these because Tour de Fleece is coming. It's when I am recording this, it's already June. My Wi-Fi has been down for a month. No, It felt like a month, a week. And it totally threw me off my game because I was unsure how much of the things that I normally do while editing my videos involve the internet. I didn't even try to edit my previous video, so I'm hoping to do that today or tomorrow and get that uploaded before I take a little family vacation up to Two Harbors, Minnesota, which is kind of up by Duluth. It will be lovely. A friend of ours lives up there, and my sister is coming to town, and we are all going up to visit said friend and have a lovely time. That friend happens to own a horse, so there might be a horseback ride in my future. I do love those. But, you know, there also might be like a list of people ahead of me. So we'll see. I'm so rosy cheeked today. I did a little yoga and had a nice shower before I decided to do my my video. So this is my finished object. My one whip or cast on or whatever that I have been working on since last we spoke, which again came out of nowhere, but is specifically for a person that I play roller derby with, not wax, somebody else. I don't know if they want me to be mentioning that, whatever, for Major Threat, who is a young person that I play derby with and who often referred to me as their derby mom because I did mom them. You know, sometimes people need a little momming. But Threat is having a baby, and I wanted to make them a baby blanket. Oh, that's the back. Don't look at my ends. Whee! And look, okay, see this initial star circle situation? Wax gave me that. And this little bit of gray and a little bit of purple and a little bit of, well, that's the gray again, more aqua. She gave me these thinking that they would just go into my ends pile, but there was enough that I cast on with that. And then I had the same kind of yarn in this sort of dreamy blue, purple, indigo, whatever you want to call it. Did I lose the ball band for this a million years ago? Yes, I did. But did I remember what the ball band looked like enough that I could Google it so that I could put it on my project page? Yes, I did. So this is Lion Brand Nap Time. I guessed that the colorway was navy. This might not count as navy to them. I don't know that part, but it's pretty navy. And then I had this goofy, fluffy stuff. I didn't really want to use things with this much floof, but it's acrylic, and it was like the right thickness of yarn. I'm trying to like go from thinner to thicker because what I want to do the last bit, Chase got a hold of this. My child thought it was super fun to take a crochet hook and just repeatedly stab, which if you didn't know is the basic mechanism of white people making dreadlocks. So he attempted to dread my yarn, basically, but it's quite a bit thicker. But Threat loves like metal, screamo music, and wearing black, and I think has worked in a haunted house on a number of occasions. One of my many friends who worked in a haunted house. And so a baby blanket for them obviously needed some black in it. So this is what I'm planning to finish it out with. I used the whole entire ball of blue already, so there's no going back on that front. And this is the thing. This is the, hey, what are we working on? This is the 6-day crochet star baby blanket. 6-day crochet. This one. So far, so good. I'm not a very skilled crochetist, and I have messed this up and had to rip back on a number of occasions. I realized that I was picking up a stitch where I shouldn't have been and had to start skipping on the next row. I kept doing it over and over again too, so that explains why my stitch counts have been off for ages. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with it. How many days have I been working on this? It hasn't been 6 days. It's not done yet. I'm probably on like day 3. I'm actually on the 3rd repetition, and it's supposed to be 3 repetitions for baby blanket, I think. Yeah. The pattern, there's a free version, one of those like endless scroll internet pages with a ton of ads, but it's a free version of the pattern. There are 9 setup rows, mostly, completing this circle and a little bit more. And then it's a 6 row repeat that you run through over and over again. For whatever reason, because the pattern is a variation on a different pattern of the same name, where it's just a like rectangular blanket, which is also called 6-day crochet baby blanket or something. The repetitive rows are listed as rows 2 through 7. So you do rows 2 through 7 as though row 1 was just the setup rounds. Sure, whatever. But you do rows 2 through 7, however many repetitions you want for the size of blanket that you want. So I have already gotten through repetitions 1 and 2, and allegedly there's just one more. And hopefully when I run out of yarn, this isn't all of it. This is the part that was more organized. There's also an absolute nightmare of tangled yarn also in this color that I can refer back to if I am not happy with where I'm at when that is done. But that's what I've been working on. Like I said, my sister's in town. She brought her 3 oldest boys, and we will be probably doing outdoor things. They were talking about going to see a national park up there or something of that effect. So this might work in the nighttime. I ended up, because the Wi-Fi was down, I ended up writing down like a shorthand that works for my brain into my journal so that I could just reference my journal with the pattern. Yeah, I'm probably going to cast on a pair of socks so that I can do that too. I didn't bring the yarn that I was thinking about. My room is an absolute disaster right now because my brain has gone like full off the rails ADD about what do I want? What do I want to make next? What do I want to make next? What do I know? How about now? What are we going to do? And yeah, everything. The answer is everything. Oh, did that count? Was that off screen? Peekaboo. And then what? Well, I still haven't figured out what I want to do. Last year's haul, last month. They're all right here. Oh, this is an oldie but a goodie that needs to get used. Ooh, I bet I'm crinkling and crackling. Sorry, forgot. So I've been thinking hard about DK weight sweater that I could cast on. I was thinking, I haven't actually done the math, but this could get involved because look at those colors. It's just like this, but in reverse. Purpley and tealy. Aqua. Sage. And then this is the latest in my endless BFL project. I love Did I ever tell you? I use Mrs. Meyer's soap when I scour my wool. I didn't buy Unicorn Power Scour or whatever the other one is. I do own some Eucalypt. I got like a mini bottle. It's big. And then I lost it for like a year. I finally found it again. That one is grapefruit flavored. I did not use it for this. I did just bash myself in the face with a yarn and get floof in my mouth. But the two varieties of Mrs. Meyer's soap, dish soap, that I ended up using to scour my wool were rosemary and acorn spice, which is mostly clove. And oh my gosh, it makes my brain so happy. It smells a little sheepy and a whole lot like spices, herbs and spices. Okay, anyway. So then this is my public service announcement that if you have not been to the craft section of your local library lately, I highly recommend. Look at the fun things you might find. I bet there's a DK weight sweater I would enjoy making in here. Knitwear from Finland for clothing and accessories. Designs by Minna. Ooh, I'm going to mess that up. Metsäinen. Inspired by Nina Leitonen. I will list below. Look at this. Look at that one right there. I'm not going to make that, but it's so cool. What do we got? What was the thing that made me finally decide I had to bring this home? Because like I flip through stuff a lot. That doesn't mean that I think I'm going to make everything. I have really been admiring. Oh, yes. I have really been admiring all lace sweaters. Melanie, Mandarine, who, if you are not familiar with it, she makes the most dreamy YouTube videos. And I'm just like, you're like a cinematographer. I'm like a hobbyist, kind of a derpy, like, I'm such a nerd. I just came to talk to you. And she does this like dreamy, like going over, looking at everything in her house is like the same sort of taupey color. And then she's always knitting with these fluffy, she loves, not Lopi, the other one, Plotulopi. She makes tons of stuff out of Plotulopi. So her garments always look so dreamy and soft. And then, she like lives in France somewhere. So her exteriors are so dreamy and soft and plants everywhere. And I'm not jealous. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it might have been that. I'm not going to make this either, but it might have been this. I had to bring it home and look at it more. Do you see? It's butterflies. What's that one called? That pattern is called Dear Sister, Coatigan. It did make me think of my sister. I bet she would get a kick out of having a coat that looked like that. Do I think I'm going to make her one of those? Probably not. I mean, she already got a sweater last year. This is about where my brain has been at lately. These sort of like dreamy, lacy sweaters. And I don't even think that's my aesthetic. But it's so good. Ugh. That. And then that was one of the 2 books that I found in the craft section. Iconic knit blankets and more. I got such a kick out of, these are like repetitive interlocking sort of patterns. And I'm a nerd, so the first thing that grabbed me was love bugs. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it in the picture, but it's all in like stockinette. So it's got a fun texture. I like that one. And then, the houses. Aren't they fun? So I will almost guarantee you that I will not make anything out of these, because how many books do I own and I never make anything out of them? I keep trying to tell myself to make anything out of one of my pom pom magazines, because I was subscribed to them for like 3 years and still have made zero of their patterns, and they're so cute. There's so many cute ones. Yeah, so I am currently lost in the the holding pattern that is, what do I make next? What do I make next? It is like the purgatory of knitting. I was flying through the last thing, and if I would just cast on and make the same thing again, I would have flown through that. But as soon as I'm like, well, but what do I have and what should I make with it? I just stall. And now, while I try to figure out what that next thing will be, I managed to finish something, which is great. I did a bunch of weaving, but I'm not sure if that was before the last time I talked to you. I got through yet another of my placemats, and I am down to the very end of my warp. So this will be the last placemat that I have. I'm not even sure that I would be able to finish this placemat. I might not be able to get enough warp, like advancing it wise, but I also ran out of weft, and that, it takes 2 seconds to put more weft onto a bobbin so that I can keep on going, but I haven't done it. So that is sort of where I've left off. In fact, that is what I should do today. But like I said, my sister has arrived, and somehow their plane came hours earlier than initially expected. So as soon as I get Chase off the bus, we will probably just head over there and visit. The only other thing that I had to show you was that I was doing a little bit of spinning. So not this year, obviously, because you saw the very little stuff that I bought, but last year I went to the Shepherd's Harvest Festival, and I got this 2-tone Shetland, right? I think this is it, right? Bicolor Shetland. 2 ounces cost me $12. The Lazy Farmer, Layzee LLC, Icelandic sheep, Jennifer Herbold, Clear Lake, Minnesota. Well, she had bicolor Shetland. And instead of maintaining this as like 2 separate colors, because, that could be fun. But somebody on the internet that I was watching was talking about the joys of holding 2 different colors together and what that does to your yarn. And so I decided that this would be a good thing to try that with. Look at this. Look how fun that is. This is still the first ply. I had 2 of these braids. So at the end, I will have 4 whole ounces, potentially, of yarn. I am most likely just going to do a 2-ply. I was planning to just do the same thing for both, although I was also thinking about splitting the second braid white and brown. Ooh. How'd that go? See, that's the trouble. It'd be really fun to split it white and brown and then have 1 ply be white, 1 ply be brown, and 1 ply be mixed, and see what that does. It would also be really fun to just continue the jumble all the way through, or to have 1 ply be white into brown and the other ply be the jumble. Cookies and cream is what it reminds me of. Not even my favorite kind of ice cream, but still delicious. And so I didn't have any reason to stall out on this, but I did, because whatever I was doing at the time, it ended up needing to move. And once I move stuff, when I have it set up and ready to go, it's easy to sit down and just work on it. There's still a lot of VM in this. That has been making me pause in my spinning also, but still better than a lot of the stuff I've been doing for myself. So whatever. Nice soft. It's so soft. It's so soft. I have been thinking about casting on another emotional support chicken because I have one and Bree has one, but Chase keeps trying to steal mine. So I thought maybe I would make him his own. Yeah. So that's what's going on. Spring has sprung. I did a little gardening. I've tried some fun and creative new sourdough flavors. Including putting cream cheese and peach jam into a sourdough bread. It was crazy delicious for a potluck we had at work last week. The reading binge continues. I have been doing a pretty good job lately of getting the audiobook version of books that I own that I've been having trouble getting around to reading because I'm so busy all the time. When it's an audiobook, I have a much easier time of reading while doing other stuff. Like I need to do the laundry, or I need to walk the dog, or I need to whatever. I need to spin, I need to knit, I need to use my hands. And I did get one of those goofy like book holder guys, but I have not been super great at using it. I'm very glad that I got a color I wouldn't have normally chosen because it was the most on sale. Because I'm not using it nearly as much as I should have, considering I've got one book that I've only been reading while I'm in the bath. Turns out that my 2 hours in the bath gets me through about 40 pages of this book, although I also keep falling asleep. It's so warm and relaxing. And I get myself propped up just so, and then I just kind of close my eyes for a little while. Danger! Don't do that. No falling asleep in the bathtub. What other summer knits have you been thinking about making? I sort of cut myself off mid-sentence before. Alicia Plummer made a thank you so much for being so supportive of me tank top pattern that looks really cute and totally like the sort of thing that I would live in. So I was thinking about making one of those. There are Pom Pom magazine super cute crop top and tank top and little shirt situations. And I have some yarns that I think would work very well for those. I have been thinking about making another mini mock neck because that particular style of crop is very flattering. I had that that upper part of my belly is the part where it kind of looks like I have abs. So I much prefer to have high-waisted shorts and show that bit off personally. I do own the Ripple Bralette pattern and the Summer Secret Crop, which was a free pattern by Jessie Maid. So those are the 3 Jessie Maid things I've been thinking about. I was thinking about making Threats Baby a sweater. That is not a summer knit unless I make it out of summery fabric. What else? Items on my bingo card that I feel like I might get to sooner than later. Oh, leg warmers. Eileen's sweater is at the top of my to-do list every month for the last 4 months. And I was hoping originally to get it done by Father's Day, and I have not touched it even one time. I haven't taken it out of its box. I've been piling things on top of the box to make it less accessible. I'm so sorry. Poor Eileen. Poor Eileen's son, who doesn't even know this is coming. I should really either Fisher cut bait, man. I should sign it up for the project finishing people. There's that website now that connects decedents works in progress with people who are willing to finish them. I'm not on that website, and it's a good thing because look at how hard I've procrastinated about this. I did recently discover that the Libby app for my library does not include magazines as part of the number of things that you can have on loan, and that you can sign up to be sent each new edition. No, that's not the word you want. What do you say? It's not an edition. It's not an episode. You can get a magazine subscription basically, and it gets delivered directly to your Libby app. So what did I sign up for? Spin-off magazine, interweave knits, some other random making stuff. Stuff that I have wanted but hadn't gotten around to like figuring out how to actually subscribe to. It's free. I'm not a super duper magazine reader, but I am such a voracious reader that I figure I do have some time to read magazines also. You know, the only problem is having to flip past all the ads and trying to look at a magazine on my phone. It's too small. But just zoom in, read the part you want, and then move it over to the next part and then read that bit and then look at the pictures, whatever. There is a tank top with lots of lace on it by Kutovakika. Veronika Lindberg, I think is her name. Kutovakika. She also has an adorable YouTube channel. If you have a chance to go and watch her, I believe she is Finnish. She's very cute. She's very adorable. Highly recommend her. I think the YouTube channel that I have been obsessing about the most lately is Wolden. She's Belgian and she speaks Flanders, the language of the Flanders. I don't know, man. What is it? What do you call it? Flemish? Is that a language? She speaks a language I don't have any knowledge of or experience with, and it doesn't hit my ear and make sounds that sound like things that I know at all. But she is just a delight. So nerdy and so just happy to mess around and see where it takes her. And, you know, she, like I, is willing to go digging around in somebody else's burn pile and see what we can make out of it. And she has been getting into solar dyeing. So I was thinking about trying some solar dyeing because there's plenty of stuff I can forage around here. Okay. I think that is probably more than enough. So thanks so much for hanging out with me again today, my friends. If you want to do those YouTube-y things like comment, subscribe, share, the commenting is the bit I'm really enjoying. Please chit chat with me. Don't expect me necessarily to answer right away because, again, I'm not always on my phone. Or at least I don't have the right notifications turned on or whatever. That's a me problem. It's not a you problem. Just, it's not you, it's me. But thanks for coming to hang out with me. I hope that you are having a fantastic time and making something that you are delighting in. And if not, that you are thinking hard about the next thing that you will make that you will delight. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. I am leaving today. Oh my gosh, you guys, I gotta go. Bye.